Tell me what the hell are you scared of when in the end the only
Where's the love? Right here on this podcast. Welcome to Love Drops, where your hosts and One Love ambassadors, Charles and Diane, will share love, hope, and inspirational topics taken from their journey and world events. We will also include on-location recordings and special pop-up guests from cool places all around the world. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
whether big or small, love never fails. Oh, love it conquers all. Love never fails.
Welcome to another edition of Love Drop Podcast. I am so excited to finally be in the virtual room with this gentleman. It's Dr. Calvin Lawrence, and man, I have been just following him on LinkedIn for the last few years, just watching him shine, watching him just do great things in the world. I stop and read his posts because they are so inspiring, uplifting, and they just activate my joy button. But I'm going to just pause here, turn it over to Charles to introduce our guest.
Thank you, Diane. Dr. Lawrence, originally from Virginia, now resides in Texas. He was born in Norfolk and resided in Portsmouth, Virginia, for the first half of his life. He earned his undergrad degree from James Madison University and began his career as a teacher and coach. Calvin holds a master's degree from Texas Christian University and a postmaster's in administration from Texas Women's University. He also earned his doctorate in educational leadership and administration while attending Baylor University in Waco, Texas. Dr. Lawrence has over 41 years of proven experience and leadership at all levels of education. He began as an elementary PE teacher and high school coach. Later, he worked at the middle school level as a coach and athletic director, and also the assistant principal. His 23-year career at the K through 12 levels culminated as the principal of a charter high school. After earning his doctorate in leadership, he worked for the next 18 years, first as a professor of educational leadership at the university level, and then as the Dean of Developmental Studies at a community college. He also spent a year as a principal of a juvenile detention center. He is currently serving as the CEO of Calvin Lawrence Speaks.net, where he engages all types of audience in motivation, diversity, and leadership practices. He is currently a newly elected school board member and the author of The Happy Leader, with relatable stories of influence and hope. Dr. Lawrence is married to Amanda, his wife, for 34 years, and they have one adult son, Caleb. That is a lot of supportive education and things of that nature. All I can say is, wow.
Wow.
And with that said, I'd like to turn the mic over to you, Dr. Lawrence. You now have the mic.
Well, hey, thank you, Charles, so much. You and Diane are such a wonderful couple. And I'm just over the moon in terms of being able to appear on your broadcast and hopefully say a few words, have something halfway decent to say today to share with the audience, because y'all are bringing it. And so I just don't want to mess up y'all's A game. I hope I can bring my game up to where you guys are in the standard. But hey, I know we're going to have a good time today.
Oh, yes, we are. We're going to have a fantastic time today. We're going to have fun. We're going to laugh. We're going to bring the light. And that is our topic today, Calvin. We're talking about glowing in the dark. You know, there's so much in the world today, in our current environment, right, that is heavy. Some would say even dark. But you know
Right,
what? What do the light do in the dark? We
right,
shine, we
right.
glow, we do not shut off because there are others that need to see the light so that they know that it's not just dark out there. And Calvin, you are definitely someone holding the torch fierce. So if we can just jump in and, tell our listeners how you're glowing in the dark in these times.
Oh man, such a powerful topic, and you nailing it, Diane, with regards to the times that we're in. I'm not even going to go into talking about end time and all this other stuff, but the times are tough. And I know you, I, and Charles have come through a lot, kind of in terms of the years and passing by. But you look at this time and you think, has it ever been as bad as this? Maybe, but it's bad in terms of a lot of things. But I know, and I can sense how you guys love each other, number one, and then how you love on your audiences. And I know what y'all do to make it through. And I'm just going to throw out my little part to it. And it is, you don't focus on the negative, you don't focus on the darkness, you focus on the light that you can bring, and you focus on whatever it is you can do, because everybody can do something. I know that there is an enemy, and if an enemy comes and he's trying to make you feel like you're less than you are, and you believe that, then you're going to fail. But if you know who you are, and I think we all do, then we know that we can succeed if we just do our part. So my thing is to just whatever it is that I can do at that particular time. It could be just a quick smile and opening a door for somebody. And that may be something that would make a person's day. And you don't even think about it, but all you have to do is just do something. If you do nothing, then nothing happens. But it's just like that light. When you turn the light on, the darkness kind of has to flee. It's got to run and hide under cover. And so I love turning on a light because I want to see, I want to help. And if I can help just one person, and I know we help more than one, if I can help just one, I've done my job, and I've really serving my purpose.
Now that really opens a light because I feel that everyone has something good in them and we're all
Right.
like candles. So if one candle lights another candle, and then it just becomes infectious. And look what we have lit. Look
Yes.
at that glow of light.
For sure. And Calvin, and going back to your bio, your extensive bio, you do a lot in the community. You do a lot with our younger generation. And I have so much respect for you in that area because they need the light like never before. Our younger generation is missing that hold factor. It's like everybody's spinning, and in a lot of instances, we're leaving our younger generation behind to just fend for themselves. We were not left behind. We had grandmothers and grandfathers and communities and villages. And I see you being that. So just speak to our listeners how you are bringing light to our younger generation, to the ones coming up behind us.
Diane, you and Charles are just out of this world. You hit on so many things with just that little piece, and I'm gonna back up just a little bit because I could not do or be where I am. I know y'all couldn't either without you just mentioned the grandmothers, the mothers, the people who from generations past were so powerful. And I'm gonna share a quick story. I had a lady see me, talk to me today in my hangout, which is Starbucks in the morning. I get my coffee and I'm out there hanging out, and we're of different ethnicities. She comes in and she talks about having read my book. What she said was, and she took me back to a kind of time that you're just talking about now. She said something about you had white fountains, you had black water fountains, you had this and you that. She said, I remember that. She said, I remember it now. We were coming out of that, but the vestiges of it were still left before they knocked some of that stuff down. And what I remember and how her words touched me was that my parents were very succinct in protecting myself, a younger sister. They protected us from that negativity. They kept the positive going, and they wanted us to know history. And we learned a lot of history. And even to this day, history is my favorite subject. But they were able to guide us and undergird us, I'll use that term, to keep us from having to fall into some negativity spot. And so going back to your original comment about how do you, because you need to, because we all need to, not just me, help young people coming up. I mean, the old song was, I believe the children are our future. So if they're the future, you got to help them and lead the way. And those lights that we're talking about, the lights that we're talking about glowing in the darkness, if you don't provide a light, how will they know? And we had them for our generations. We did. They were lighthouses, like I don't know what, and they would show us and guide us. They couldn't do everything for us, but they could give us direction, some clarity, and give us hope. And if I do nothing else, in the last part of that book that Charles was talking about is relatable stories of influence and hope. We all have to give these kids hope because there's hope for a better tomorrow, and they are the future for our hope and our better tomorrow. If we don't do well by them, then I don't want to reach to a certain time and I get accused because I didn't do my due diligence, my job with those young people. So, you're talking to a lifetime educator. I can't help but love on folks, and the folks that I enjoy the most when it comes to talking to anything about any subject, whether it's motivational, leadership, or anything, is that generation coming up behind me, because they're not singed by so much the negativity. They're not as sarcastic. Hopefully, they haven't gotten to that point yet. And they are still believing. Give them something to believe in. Help them with the dreams that they have. If we can do that, wow, we have done so much. And it seems like a little, but it's a lot.
Yes.
Well, yeah, what I was going to say in reaching back, a lot of our younger folks, they're looking at the negatives, and we need to show them there's something positive in there. Build on the positives, and you're suppressing the negatives. You've got a foundation to build on. Keep on keeping on with the positives. The negatives will take care of themselves. That's in the past, which you can't change. Everything happens in the now.
Exactly. And, we do a lot of it with our children, our grandchildren. We have to start in our homes. We have to start with the children around us. If each person listening would just make an impact today, right now, to some young person that is right there next to them, it is contagious. Like you said,
Contagious.
it can be as simple as asking, hey, what are you working on? What are your interests? We have grandchildren and we stay connected with them. We learn so much from them. We spotlight their gifts to promote in them the confidence. And we tell them, hey, you can do anything. And we mean it, right? We mean it. So we're being the light right there. So I know that you speak a lot, and you do motivational talks and things and lectures, and you speak in groups with children. I'm thinking college students. And are you still with the K through 12, or have you evolved beyond?
I hope I never evolve beyond young people. And I hope that I can always have a little something to say to every group. Now, I'll throw this in. I still work with K-12. I've got to, because I'm a school board member now, right? So I'm in and out of the schools as much as I can be, as much as our superintendent is awesome where I'm living currently, and she's kid focused, kid centered. I am that way too. So we've connected at such a great level. But I enjoy so many different levels. If you pin me down, and Diane, Charles, your wife, she's trying to pin me down. I don't know if I'll let her do it, but if you really do pin me down, I would say that I love that. Maybe my best group of all the young people is the folks that are transitioning from high school to college, and the ones that are transitioning from college to life. And I love to work with those groups because they're in that transitionary mode where it's real fuzzy out there. It's like when they get to that point, they're not sure about the future. They're not sure about, and a whole lot of self-doubt may come in. And I want to reassure them, like we're saying, about that. Give them hope, give them a sense of security in what have you learned. I was thinking about this when you said something, and I've never shared this like this before, but I guess you and Charles kind of get the best out of me, so I'm gonna have to share it. I remember what the Lord said to Moses when Moses was giving all these excuses for why he couldn't do what he was supposed to do. And he said, "What is that in your hand?" And it's like the gist of that is, what did I give you? What do you have? What can you use? Because whatever you have something. Charles hit on this. You have something that you can use that nobody else has. You are unique. Your purpose is unique in this world. There should never be, this is a heavy one, there should never be a young person that gets to a point where they want to end it all, take their lives, because they don't feel like they are worthwhile. And so if I don't do anything else, I know y'all are the same way. I want to make sure that whoever's around me, if they're young people and they're listening to this voice right now, they know that they have value, they have worth, they are created to do some powerful things. Diane said it. They can do anything they want if they put their minds to it. Whatever the barriers are, you just get with the people that you need to get with to get to wherever you need to get to. And I could tell some stories, but I may not have time today about folks that have gone in and seemingly have nothing, and yet they start and they just, and I'll throw this in though, you have to start. You can't just sit there and my grandmama would say, have a pity party and just sit on the couch and just decide you can't do it because you can't do it. And I may not say it as harsh as she would say it, but she might say, boy, get up and do what you know you can do, because you have been endowed with creative power, with force, with life. You can do anything you put your mind to. You study, you show yourself approved. You can do these great things that you want to. Dream dreams and then start taking action to make those dreams come true. And if I can do that, and if we can do that as a group, because we're united now, I know we're going to be working together. If we can do that, then great things happen. And young people who didn't think they could do something, oh, wow. You think about people going on to these great things that they've done and committed and going to great universities or going to great places or having great careers, because at least somebody said this a long time ago. Everybody needs one person to believe in them, at least one person. I don't care where you come from, whether you're from the projects, the barrio, from wherever you come from. If one person believes in you and you take heed and you start to take action, so many great things can happen.
Absolutely. And I love how you said you are focused in on those in transition. Now, like I said, I've been following you, so I know there's no putting no pin on you. And I also resonate with that because there's really no box for me. When people say, well, what's my thing is love. We're talking about light. Light shines all, right?
Right.
And so, when you were talking about just those in transition, that is such a pivotal point. And people need to have those believe and cheer for them when they're taking the leap, because there's so many naysayers and there's so many that are sitting, like you said, on the couch and telling you why you can't do this and why you can't do that. We have the responsibility to show them how to shut out the noise and let them know, hey, I'm cheering for you. I am here for you. Whatever it is that you need, I got you. I'm retired critical nurse. If I talk to any young person to this date and they say, I want to go into healthcare, or I want to, I want to write a book, I am here for it. And I'm not going to just tell you good luck. I'm going to say, how can I help you?
Help you.
What path are you on? Let me give you some tools to consider to make it easier for you. You might take a different road, but at least let me leave you with some tools to consider. I am not that person that is going to say, Oh, you hungry? I'll pray for you. No, you hungry? Sit down. I'll make you something,
Uh-huh.
and that is what is needed, you know?
Mm-hmm. So,
Young folks, they want everything like instant
yeah,
gratification.
right, right,
And
right,
we help them with
right,
patience. And you
right,
don't have to be a doctor to have patience. I would talk with them and say, hey, whatever you want to do, you have an amen corner out there. If it's one person,
right.
continue with that and you'll succeed. You'll
You will
succeed.
make it.
You will
You'll make it.
make it. You'll make
I
it.
gotta I gotta jump in real quick because
Yes.
Diane, now I realize, Charles, why you married her and why y'all are such a loving couple and why I'm connecting so well because she threw out that nurse thing so I got to go back and I got to share this. So my mom was a nurse, lifetime nurses. I think nurses have a special place in heaven. I do because not only do they have to care in their role, but then they come home and they have to care again. And so they're never off the clock, never off the clock. My
Amen.
mom was never off the clock. So I know that, Charles, you married a special girl because of what he just shared with the audience and with me. And now I know why we're connecting so well because of that. Because when a nurse tells me to do something, I it's like, where, and when. So if Diane calls me up, I got to do it because she's got that special connection. I'm going to throw that out there. But you're so right. And I'm going to throw this in too. The word now that everybody uses, they didn't use it back in the day because people just went ahead and did it. They went ahead and they shared. And then, like Diane said, and then if you needed something to take with you, I'm going to make sure you got something to eat for next day and maybe the day after that. The word is mentors. And I talk about it all the time in my book. And I've had more mentors than, well, I guess the Lord knew I needed a lot of help. I may need to say it that way. He knew I needed help finding a bride. He knew I needed help getting a job. I'll throw this one in. Even when I decided to go from being a teacher and a coach to being in a leadership role, and even those are leadership roles, but to be the leader of a school, I had a gentleman who said exactly what Charles said. I had one guy who believed in me to the point where he said, you can do it. You can be just as good as I am and maybe even better. And it wasn't but just a few words. Like we're talking about opening the door or giving it, just a few words. And I had to think about it. I had to think about it. And then you know what? It precipitated me to move into the next step, which was taking some classes and exploring and then finishing a degree and then putting myself in a position so when the role opened up, I was there. I was ready to go, Charles and Diane. I was ready to roll right into it. And I guess look what I've been able to do since that time. But it only took a few words from someone who and he and his wife still believe in me and my wife. They were the ones that put us together. So I know how powerful it is to have mentors, to have people in your life who love on you. And I'm gonna go back to one more thing Charles said with regard to the microwave generation and stuff that we live in, because it's okay to slow it down just a little bit. And I think that's why younger people need older people who have, or mature people, I'll use that word, who have gone through the process and who can slow it down for you because it's okay that you don't have it right now, but it's coming. And if we can give them that motivation, Diane, and cheer them on, every little step is an improvement, right? And you're going to
Yes.
get there. It just may take a little bit longer than somebody else. Look at yourself. Don't worry about what somebody else has. Look at what you have and what you got and what you gain. And sometimes it takes one of those mentors to tell you how far you've come and remind you of that. I get reminded of that all the time. And I have to look back. Somebody, Charles just gave my resume. I said, did I do all that stuff? I guess I did some of that stuff. I've forgotten some of the stuff that I've done. But sometimes you just take somebody to remind you, look how far I've come. And then it's like, then when you face those giants in the future, well, I've killed a bear and the lion. I've done this and I've done that. So I can do this other thing. I can because I can. That's confidence. That builds
That's
that
right.
confidence you need.
And you hit it, confidence. And that, when we glow, we have to glow with confidence, unapologetically. And
Right.
we have to glow in our actions, right? So even with giving back, and with the grandkids, they are watching us do
Yes.
what
Yes.
we speak.
Yeah.
So they
Right.
see us doing it, right? And
Right.
here's the thing. I think it is so important. Yes, I get it. Stay positive. Yes, I get it. Be light. But I also get it. Be balanced, because I feel like it's unrealistic to not incorporate in your shine that there are going to be days when that light is flickering. There is going to be days when that light is dim. There's going to be days when you have to charge that light, right? And so just giving the tools for that, because I think, especially now, we're seeing so many bulbs just blow out, pop and blow out, because they keep going. They feel like, well, I can't make an error. I can't. Yes, you can. You are
Right.
going to fall. You are going
Right.
to drop the ball. It's going to happen. Here's the thing. How you get up is what is important. So we have to give them the tools and techniques to show them how to get back up, how to get
Yeah.
back up from
Yes.
that fall, right? And so,
Right.
just being leaders, being mentors, we must lead by example. I'm telling you
Yes.
this, I'm at a point in life where I am not really listening to what people are saying so much. I am watching actions. What you do speaks
Yes.
to me. What you say
Yes.
suggestively, but what you
Right.
do speak to me.
Right.
And I'll say this: love is love, and light is light.
Yeah. Diane was just saying, when you fall, you get up and you keep going. And it's a big lesson to be learned with that. If you fall on your face, you know that you were going forward.
Right. Oh man, that's a great point. That's a quotable point, Charles. It is. So Diane and you as well, Charles, have shared so many great things about what we need to do. I think about when we're talking to young people and being in education, the children have heard, and especially the children that are like coming from rough places, from rough situations, they've been told so much stuff, Diane, but then people didn't follow up, and so they build up these barriers. So they're the ones that are really really hard nuts to crack, but they're also the ones, Diane and Charles, that are watching, and with just what Diane said, if you are consistent with your walk and your love and what you're sharing with them, you can break through those barriers, and you do break through. And the only way you can do it is by your role and by you doing what you say you're going to do. Be the man or woman of your word that you say you are, and follow through. And if you do that, you're going to make headway with these folks and help them get to where they need to be. But it's the role modeling. It was kind of natural thing going back again. I'm going to flip back in time to the 50s and the 60s and whatnot, when you had people who were just always there and around you, and they were solid. You don't have as many of those folks now, but when you find them, and I will say this to any students listening, when you find them, hang on to them, watch what they do, and they will help you to break through those barriers. And so, Diane, you're preaching to the choir in this space right here, but then also when the people that are listening to this want to hear, they need to hear it, because they need to hear, if they're not doing what they need to do, then you're motivating them to say, okay, I got to get on my A game. Diane and Charles, and maybe even Calvin, they're bringing it up. We got to do what we say we're going to do, because these kids are watching us. They are watching, and they always will be watching.
They always will. I have a question as we are wrapping up, because I tell you, Kevin, we could go on and on to the break of dawn. So, I see your book cover in the back, and it says the happy leader, right?
Right.
And I see a big old smile. So yeah, I see happy. I see happy. So as the happy leader, is there one story in particular that just sticks out with you that you'd like to leave with our listeners? We're talking about hard nuts to crack. Is there one story that can just really shine in this space that we're in right here?
Well, we're talking about hard nuts to crack. We're talking about shining light. I got a lighthouse on that cover there, and the lighthouse does exactly what we're talking about. I would throw this story out with my favorite teacher, somebody who broke some nuts that were hard to crack. And maybe the first time I ever thought about this, the light bulb came on for me with regards to education with this particular lady. So she's my favorite teacher, fourth grade teacher, never will forget her. Name was Dora Harris. Why did she become my favorite teacher? Because there were other grades. I had the third grade, I had second grade, I had a whole bunch of grades, as Charles was saying. After that, why is she the favorite? She's a favorite teacher of mine because she did those things that Diane was talking about with regards to going the extra mile. She pushed us further than we could go. Diane and Charles, I won the spelling bee that year, not because I was a great speller. I guess I was okay, but I won it because I wanted her name beside mine at the top of the list. And I worked as hard as I could. Phonetically, we were doing phonetics back in those days, if y'all remember. I would listen to a word, and then I had competition, and it was tough. But I said, I am going to win if I don't do anything else. This lady was phenomenal. She's no longer with us, but to my end days, I will say, best teacher. My mom had a saying, and her saying was, if you were good, you were stomped down good. Now, when she talked about Dora Harris, because she knew Dora, the effect that she had on me, she said, oh, Dora was stomped down good. She was so good, you just had to stomp. And so this is what she was to me. But you think about that. Fourth grade, that was a long time ago, Charles. And I still to this day admire, adore her. And I still want to do the things that she did for me in whatever aspect that I'm at. And it goes right back to this question and what we're talking about, the lighthouse glowing in the dark. She glowed in the dark. And Charles, you said it, like that candle, you light another candle. She lit my candle. Now I want to light as many as I can before my time is done.
Perfect.
Perfect. And we get an opportunity every time we talk with someone, every time we exchange ideas and things of that nature. And when the young folks, as well as a few older ones, will call just to talk with you, ensure that you shine a light. Shine a light.
My last job was college professor for graduate nurses. And to this day, I still stay in touch with students. I still have students that send baby announcement, Christmas cards, wedding invitations, and just give me back things that I planted. I've had the fortune to watch them bloom. I've had the fortune to just see them become phenomenal and to watch them give back as well. So as we are coming to the final segment, I know I said that before, what love drop would you like to leave with our listeners? And that is just any words of inspiration or whatever's on your heart. What would you like to leave for a love drop?
I got one. I got you, Diane. Got you, Charles. So the love drop I want to leave is relationships matter. And it ties into almost everything we've been talking about over this last few minutes. The relationships matter. Don't go into wherever you contact with people kind of willy-nilly and just take it for granted and just be like, oh, well, that person, whatever. You got to make sure that you come, Charles, with your A game. And at this time, because we started out with this, the times are tough, the times are hard. So that means we got to be tough. And Charles was in the military, so he knows that he girded himself up. He took on the whole armor. He got ready to do whatever he was going to do. Well, it's kind of like that every day now. You just got to be ready. Now, I can still be happy, but I need to be very intentional in that relationships matter. So when I go out, and I'm going to be going into a meeting with some folks, some of them I don't even know, but I got to be more intentional about making sure, number one, Diane, I'm smiling, I come in, I'm welcoming, I'm open, and then I'm also going a little bit deeper. I want to know you, I want to know your family, I want to know your background. What are your dreams and aspirations? What do you want to do with your life? Can I help you? Diane said it several times. What can I do to help you? And I mean it. I'm not just being flippant with it. Relationships matter. So if I can leave that with the audience, with anybody today, I hope that will help somebody today.
And I'm sure that it will. There is so much glow that comes in, with, and through you, Dr. Calvin Lawrence. And what we're going to do is we're going to put all your information in our show notes so that listeners can reach out and connect with you. And young folks, and people that are in transition, and just anyone, right, that is just looking to be lit up, right, can connect with you. They can support you in purchasing of your book, maybe the services that you're offering in the world. We're going to put that website out there. And so we're inviting listeners to connect and learn more about Dr. Calvin Lawrence. You'll be glad you did. And as always, we thank you for your time. It is non-refundable. So thank you for your yes. Listeners, if this episode resonated with you, we ask that you share it with others. And if you feel it, subscribe and share the podcast and, support however you're led. With that said, Charles, any final words?
Yes, the final words is keep your mind open, keep your heart glowing, and share. Share it with everyone you know.
Yes. And as Dr. Lawrence said, relationships matter. And so we're going to sign off with that. And as Charles and I always sign off with one love.
Never a second will I waste. Never an opportunity to taste the sweetness of this life.
Thank you for tuning in to the Love Drops podcast. Be sure to follow this podcast and share the love with everyone you know. Until next time, this is Charles and Diane signing off. One love.
Love it conquers all, whether big or small. Love never fails. Oh, love it conquers all. Love never